Hey everyone, it's Daniel Collins here with Week 5 of the West Coast Pokemon League. This week's final is between Shaun Sewell on the left and Joel Walraven on the right. This week was the Boundaries Crossed pre-release, so the decks you'll see today aren't your typical tournament decks. They are just made up of whatever the guys drew out of their 6 booster packs plus the energies that were provided. They make a 40 card deck and have 4 prizes instead of the usual 6, and we'll just wait for these guys to get set up. As you can see, Shaun has a hand full of water energy. In these pre-releases, you want to play a lot of energy in your deck, a lot more than you typically would, because you don't have the supporters to be able to draw into them like you would in a typical deck. And as you can see in Joel's hand, he also has a lot of energy in his hand and 1 Pokeball, so at least he has some way to search for Pokemon. And judging by all the water in Shaun's deck, I would say he probably got lucky enough to draw a Keldeo of some kind, whether it's the normal one or the EX. We will find out, I'm sure. And looking at his hand, he pulled the EX, so Keldeo EX is one of the big cards out of this set. It has 170 hit points and has the ability Rush In, which is basically a free switch. And then also has Secret Sword for 3 colorless. It does 50 plus 20 more for each water energy attached. And has the fortunate weakness of Grass rather than Lightning. So with not many big grass attackers in the format, it's actually a good weakness to have. As you can see, Joel won the flip and started with Delibird, which is a good starter in this pre-release. It has an attack called Present for 1 colorless. You can flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for any card that you like and put it into your hand. So that's what Joel's doing now, and he also played his Pokeball and rolled heads and got out Black Kyurem EX, which is obviously one of the forms of Kyurem in the video game Black and White 2. Another new card that Shaun just played his Town Map. Allows you to flip up, play with your prizes face up. So as you can see, he's turned all his prizes face up, and he has a Lillipup and 3 water energies he's prized. And Joel just present again. And the advantage of pre-releases, if you get Keldeo, it's a very dominant card in a pre-release. It's able to sit on the bench and you just attach water energy to it until it can one-hit everything, and then you just use its ability Rush In, send it out, and then just start swinging with Secret Sword. As you can see, Joel's getting very lucky trying to set up with all these presents. He has 2 lightning on his Black Kyurem EX. And now that Keldeo EX has 3 water energies on it, and it's going to use the Rush In ability. And so now that Keldeo with 3 water energy in, 50 plus 20 for each water, so it's swinging for 110. And easily knocks out the Delibird, which only has 70 HP, I believe. I'm not quite sure what Black Chiron X's first attack is, but I know you roll, and if you roll heads, it's the opponent's Pokemon is paralyzed. So there, Joel rolled tails and did 60 to Keldeo. You see, Shaun was lucky enough to also draw the normal Keldeo, which has Hydro Pump, which I think does 50 or 60 plus 10 more for each water. I'm not quite sure why you would I suppose he's just happy with doing 110 with Keldeo and just powering up another attacker on the bench. Especially when Joel's just going to knock out his EX with whatever Black Chiron's second attack is. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I think it swings for 100 and... I think it does 120. So that would have easily knocked out. But I think whatever it is, the downside of that attack is it can't use that attack, or it can't attack next turn, or it can't use that attack next turn. And you see Joel play Potion. And he's going to play maybe a Fire on the Victini. Maybe, thinking, maybe, yes, no, yes, yep, okay, yep. Because the first attack of the Victini out of this set is, I believe, Collect, so it's just draw a card. And Joel's just... this took place a lot today. Everyone picking up each other's cards and just reading the attacks of the other Pokemon, because we're all kind of new to the new set and weren't quite sure what cards did what. So we've seen a fair bit of that today. And you see Joel retreat his heavily damaged Black Chiron for Victini, and he also plays an Energy Search for a Water Energy. And then uses Collect to draw the card. And Shaun draws a third Water Energy. I think Shaun played something ridiculous like 16 water in this deck today. So he shouldn't always be able to get the water energy. I know you can only draw... You're pretty much going off what you draw off the top of your deck in pre-releases, because you don't have any of the supporters like Juniper or Bianca to help you draw extra cards. You see in Shaun's hand, he has a Pokemon Ordino. Has a very nice ability that lets you discard it from your hand and heal all statuses, and I believe damage as well off the Pokemon. It might just be statuses. I can't quite remember. And yeah, that's game. Hydro Pump for Keldeo and knocks out the Black Chiron. Okay, so that was game 1. Going to Shaun, and why they set up, I'll just give you a bit of rundown. The few cards that have I've seen a lot of hype with boundaries crossed. Obviously, you've seen Keldeo in this match. It has a very good partner in this set in Blastoise. It's pretty much a reprint of the base set Blastoise, which has the ability Rain Dance, except the ability is now called Deluge. And it allows you to attach as many water energy as you like from your hand. It's pretty much the same as Embor's Inferno Fandango, except for water energy instead of fire. So you just set up Blastoise and just attach energy to Keldeo, and the damage output's pretty much unlimited. You're only limited by how many water energy you have in your deck. Another card that was hyped up in Boundaries Crossed is Landorus EX. It has 180 HP. Its first attack for 1 fighting energy does 30 damage to the defending Pokemon and 30 damage to a benched Pokemon. So it's a very, very good attack for 1 energy. There's not many cards putting 60 damage on the field for 1 energy. The only thing I can think of is Tornadus EX if you have a stadium. And even then you've got to have a double colorless. I know it's 2 energy, but it's 1 energy card. And it also has Land Judgment as a second attack. For 2 fighting and a colorless, it does 80 damage, and if you discard all fighting energy, it does an additional 70. So it's definitely a card I think that was printed to deal with Darkrai. But at the same time, Keldeo EX was printed in the same set to deal with Landorus, as it has a weakness to water. So we'll see the guys get set up here for game 2. You can see that Shaun always starts his Keldeos on the bench. That's because there's no danger of being captured. So you can just sit them on the bench, load them up with water energy, and then just retreat to them and start attacking. You see Joel start with the Victini with Collect. It's a good starter, and probably the other good starter. There's probably a couple of other good starters out of this Boundary Cross set, especially in terms of starting in a pre-release. The Shaman has Call for Family for 1 colourless energy, and also the Delibird you saw Joel start with in the first game. They're just good setup Pokemon, especially in a pre-release. And Joel uses Victini's second attack there. I'm not quite sure what it does. And Shaun attached to Oshawott and retreated, discarded that water energy and promoted Keldeo, and used its first attack, which does 30 damage, and then obviously because of Victini's weakness to water, ends up doing 60. As you can see with Shaun's town map, you can see that Keldeo EX is prized with 2 water energies, and unfortunately because of the glare I can't quite see what his 4th prize is. I think Joel would have loved to have seen that in the prizes. I think Victini's second attack is flip a coin until you get tails. I can't quite remember how much damage it does per heads, but I'm pretty sure that's what the attack is. Joel's just going to now leave his Black Kyurem on the bench and just power it up until he can start doing some good damage with it, especially knowing that Keldeo EX is on the bench, is in the prizes. And now you can see with Shaun seeing that Black Kyurem starting to get powered up, he grabs Keldeo after knocking out Electabuzz with a normal Keldeo. And we'll see Joel here use, I think it's Dragon Fang or Dragon... It's Dragon something, I'm pretty sure. It does 60 and then roll a coin. If heads, it's paralysed. But he put 60 on that Keldeo. See, Shaun put down his Keldeo X that he got out of his prizes. The other thing you see there, Squirtle on the bench. Obviously that's used to evolve into Blastoise. I'm pretty sure Shaun didn't get Blastoise in his packs, but it has a nice ability that it can't get damage while it's on the bench. If it's damaged while it's on the bench, it doesn't take any damage. Which is very good when trying to set up for Blastoise, because normally with things like Darkrai and Landorus coming out, people tend to target down your base Pokemon of an evolution chain, just so it can't evolve. So that Squirtle is obviously very well protected from that, so it's good to see Pokemon building things like that into the game to try and help Stage 2 decks get back into the format. Obviously the format's been a lot of basic decks lately, so it's good to see they're trying to promote and get people to try and use Stage 2 decks. Anything with promoting Squirtle here is Kyurem's attack does 60, so it's just an easy knockout and prize for Joel, as if he had a bench that Ordino earlier would have at least had another turn. And as you can see, now Shaun's starting to struggle for energy. He's not able to power up that Keldeo X, and basically he's just drawing and passing. Whereas now Joel can just take his time, knowing he's not going to be attacked for at least 2 turns, and can just swing away with Black Kyurem until he takes all his prizes. And you see Joel bench a Baneri and pass because he obviously used Black Kyurem's second attack. Now Shaun picks up a switch here. And just concedes that his Pokemon's going to get knocked out by Black Kyurem, and we will go to a third and deciding game. While we wait for him to set up, I'll go through a couple of other cards. I already discussed Keldeo, Blastoise and Landorus. The other thing that's new in this set is Ace Spec cards. They are trainer item cards. You can only run one in your deck. You can only run one Ace Spec card. The 4 Ace Specs are Crystal Edge, Crystal Wall, Computer Search, and Gold Potion. Computer Search will probably be the most popular. It's just a reprint of the base set Computer Search, which is discard 2 cards and Computer Search, and you can search for anything in your deck and you don't have to show it to your opponent, unlike most other search cards we've got in the format. It says search for a card and reveal it to your opponent. With Computer Search you don't have to reveal, so it's good, especially if you're not going to play that card straight away. You can just search, put it in your hand, and just save it for either the next turn or to surprise your opponent. Gold Potion it heals 90 damage from your active Pokemon. Has to be your active Pokemon, can't be just any Pokemon. It's heal 90 from the active. Crystal Wall and Crystal Edge go hand in hand with Black and White Kyurem. White Kyurem goes with Crystal Edge. I believe Crystal Edge makes White Kyurem's attacks do 50 extra damage, and Crystal Wall gets paired with Black Kyurem and it gives Black Kyurem 300 HP. If we thought 100 HP was a lot before, 300 would definitely be a problem, but most people are going to play computer search, so unfortunately we're probably never going to see 300 HP Black Kyurem hit the field, because most people will play computer search just for increased consistency, with the occasional people playing Gold Potion, depending on the deck. If you think you can make it consistent enough without needing computer search, you might want to play Gold Potion just for some healing. And yeah, so they're the 4 new ace specs. Bringing you, just bringing something new to the game. Just something else you have to think about when building decks. And we'll get underway with the third game here. Joel starts with Victini again, which as I mentioned before, is a good starter. He should just attach here and maybe bench something else. Nope. He'll just use collect and draws a Pikachu. I think this will just be a case of Shaun once again just loading up a Keldeo and yeah, just putting enough energy on it and then just retreating to Keldeo and then just start attacking, whether it's the normal Keldeo or the EX. And that's just been Shaun's strategy all day. And obviously it's taken him to the final and down to the final game, and it's working well. He also used Psyduck there to confuse Joel's Victini, and Joel obviously tried to use collect and roll tails and took the 30 damage from confusion, and that actually helped Shaun because it allowed him retreat to Keldeo probably a turn earlier than he would have to knock out that Victini. And Joel Pokeball and fail. Joel's going to be in a fair bit of trouble here. He's pretty much might as well bench his Pokemon. I mean, they're doing nothing in your hand, and it's not going to hurt to have them on the field. But he just attaches to Skarmory again. And I think Skarmory's second attack is Swift. I think it's 3 colourless for... we'll find out here when Shaun puts the damage on Keldeo. For 70 it must be, and I don't think it's affected by anything on the Pokemon, so it ignores Eviolite. There you go. So that's what Ordino's thing does. Clear statuses and 10 health. So and then that Skarmory gets knocked out by Keldeo's Hydro Pump again. I think Joel's in a lot of trouble, and that's it. So yeah, so that's the win for Shaun. Which is very good for Shaun in the last few weeks. He's been getting more and more consistent, starting to make top 8s more often. So it's good to see Shaun win, even though it is a pre-release. I think it's a reward for good consistency recently. And next week we're at Curtain, not at Tactics, and I'll bring you the game from there. So thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.